The Star Media sponsor of the week is the Laverne Area Community Foundation under the leadership of Executive Director Emily Crabtree. The foundation helped facilitate funds of nearly 50 nonprofit organizations in addition to 8 Rock County community funds. The monies to support these nonprofits and community funds comes from donors like you. So give where you live and make a difference, not just now, but for the future generation. Welcome today to Chamber Chatter. I have Lori from Carson's Cause for the Buffalo Days Run for a Cause and Wendel from the History Center for Tales at the Grave. I'll start off with the Chamber Chatter. Memorial Day Remembrance Ceremony will be Monday, May 26th at 10:30 a.m. at Maplewood Cemetery with guest speaker James Olson of the 2nd District Commander, Department of the Minnesota American Legion. The music will be provided by Laverne High School Band and Kira DeJernis. Please bring your own chair as there won't be much seating. Laverne Lions Club Summer Raffle will be drawing on June 6, 2025 at 7:30 p.m. at the Buffalo Days Cruise-In. You need not be present to win. Tickets are $5. Tickets are available from all Lions Club members. And there are 5 great prizes: Oklahoma Joe Smoker, a Blackstone tabletop grill, a Fairway Grill bundle for $120, Sunshine gift card for $100, and a Fairway Grill half bundle for $60. Buy now and give the gift of hearing. Moving on to Woofstock, which will be June 8th. It's new this year. They tried to do it last year. They weren't able to do it. It'll be the first annual from 3:30 to 7 p.m. at Laverne City Park. I'll have a doggy kissing booth, vendors, demos, and gift bags, music, and more. This all ties in with Buffalo Days. So June 5th will be the Tour de Loop. And June 6th will be the Cruise-In. We also have on June 7th the Expo, and then I'll turn this over to Lori so she can talk about the Buffalo Days Run for a Cause for this event that supports Carson's Cause.
Thanks, Kenzi. So this will be our 3rd year already doing it. We have learned a lot. And so last year we had a professional race management team come in, and it's so helpful. They're going to be with us again, probably going forward, because I don't know how to run timers. But it's really fun, and it's a healthy event, and it is a fundraiser for Carson's Cause. And what we do is work with schools in the area to promote better conversations about brain health to reduce stigma and prevent suicide. So the registration stuff is online. If you go to runsignup.com, you'll find our event, and we really hope to see you there. The t-shirts will be pink this year.
Oh, fun. And this is at the Laverne City Park to start, right?
Correct, yes. Everything starts and stops there, and there's a 1-mile fun run for families that it just is super fun. It's strollers and bicycles and all kinds of things are going on in the city park while we send out the runners for the 5K.
Awesome. So I could walk it if I'm not a runner.
Yes, you can. And so, and that's the thing. So we do have the professional timing set up, and a lot of people like to do the 5K just to train for other things. And so it works for them, but it also works for the folks that are just interested in supporting our cause. This is last year's shirt, and so pink will be this year.
Awesome.
And so we do need to have people sign up by May 23 to guarantee a t-shirt.
All right, so hear that, May 23, sign up. And with that, that'll be a great event. It ties in with our Buffalo Days, and we're excited.
I could talk more about it. I don't know how much time we have. Wendell needs his turn too, so.
Yes. Well, we'll carry on. If we have more, we can come back to it. Sunday, June 8th, we'll have Tales from the Grave. And Wendell, if you want to touch on that.
You bet. Yeah, so Tales from the Graves is an annual event from the History Center. The Rock County Historical Society puts that on every year at the end of Buffalo Days. And this year we have it's always special. But this year, I feel like it just gets better every year. Because this year we have actually 5 characters. So we have Carmen Surmeyer Christensen, actually Carmen Headley Surmeyer Christensen.
I didn't know that. She was legendary.
She was a Headley. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so no wonder she's legendary, right?
She just was.
Yeah. And she was an amazing force factor in the Historical Society for a long period of time. But anyway, so Brenda Winter will be portraying her. So that's got to be. She'll get out of the Marlene or Darlene.
I think she might be Marlene. I can't remember.
So she'll get out of that mode and she'll be Carmen.
That's how lots of us
Surmeyer.
know her as Marlene and Darlene from Leo
Yeah,
from Minnesota
yeah.
who drives a Toyota, but not for
Yes.
Tales from the Grave.
No,
She's
not for
losing-
Tales from the Grave. She's
she'll lose that
losing
accent?
that persona,
Okay,
and
okay.
she's becoming Carmen. And then we also have Neil and Jesse Roberts. And actually, it's hard to outshine Neil because he was like super sheriff of the county. But I think Jessie probably did because she was the matron back in the day, and she was like the cook extraordinaire. And so
You're too young to know any of this, but
Yeah.
I was too young when I started too, but
Yeah.
people would try to go to jails over the holidays.
Yes. Yeah,
So
because
that
they
she could
wanted her
cook.
meal.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
And who's playing them?
So that will be Nicole and Cody Henricks.
Oh, cool.
And Nicole is a new board member, so we thought, what better way to initiate her than to say, hey, here's a job for you. And Cody actually played one of the Leisher brothers back in the day. That was like 3 or so years ago.
Very theatrical.
So yeah, that's a theatrical family. And then we have Mortier Bolden Skewis.
Oh.
And he was he was county attorney for a while. He did a lot of different gigs, but he was just known as an attorney here. Skewis Klosterboer for a while, but it also had Tim Connell in there. I'm trying to think of who else was part of that.
Well, Vagert.
Yeah,
Terry
yeah.
Vagert, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, so these are all people who were sort of his protege.
Yeah, he was the attorney, I think, in town back in his day. And
Yeah.
I think, he was a very quiet man, but he was very influential.
Yeah.
Who's playing him?
He will be played by Don Klosterboer.
Oh, of course.
Who was actually his partner for a while.
He'll be perfect.
So this will be kind of fun to see how that goes. The interesting thing is like when these people portray these characters, they don't necessarily cover everything. Obviously, you can't. And so every performance might be a little different. So we'll have 3 performances, one at 1 o'clock, another at 2 o'clock, and another at 3 o'clock. And so we'll go through all of the characters 3 different times.
It's
And
so
then in
cool.
between times, you can get pie and ice cream.
And remind me, is it interactive? I mean, can the crowd ask questions like in between? Or
It's not meant to be interactive, but somehow it becomes interactive. Like maybe somebody like you was sitting in the audience and was like,
a question
I have a
asker.
question. So yeah, it does sometimes turn out that way, but then sometimes we run out of time and then we just kind of. So I'm going last. I am actually going to portray not the person who died. I'm going to portray the boss of the person who died. So I am going to be Jim Kelly. Jim Kelly was a farmer up by the mounds. And so he actually had a farm right near the mounds, and he and Guy Blackburn were out there loading shocks on a wagon.
Shocks of grain.
Shocks of grain, yes. I guess I have to specify.
Back when that's how they did
Yeah.
their
Yes,
harvest.
so anyway, so a tragedy happened, and that's the secret. No one knows what
No
the
wonder I don't know
tragedy
this Jim
is
Kelly either. You're a mystery.
until you come to Tales from the Graves.
All right.
Yeah.
Cliffhanger.
Yes. You have to come now
You have to come
1 to 4 p.m.
anyway.
at
It
the
is
History
so
Center.
at
Say
the
it
History
again?
Center. We're still sort of trying to figure out exactly how we're going to fit everybody in there, or if we'll do it outdoors. If it's a beautiful day, it's nice to do it outdoors. The last time we did it outdoors, it was sweltering hot. And so one of our board members went and got a whole bunch of water bottles for all the people in the audience. So
You just don't know for
you
Buffalo
kind of
No.
have to play it by ear.
No, it's
So
up
if
in-
we
We'll
go
see.
outdoors, will it be outdoors at the History Center?
Yes,
or-
it would
okay.
be on the plaza.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
All right.
So the plaza is the perfect place for that. But if it's like 100 degrees or if it's pouring rain, not
Or
so much.
screaming wind.
Yes.
That could
Yep.
happen.
So we'll see. Yet to be determined.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on it.
Perfect.
To follow it through, I have what I do every week, which is our military minute.
Oh.
So I'll do that real quick. So in our last military minute, we discussed the purchase of the armory in 1919, the formal opening of the armory Armory of Company H Machine Gun 5th Minnesota National Guard was held on Friday, October 6th of 1922, and Colonel Walter F. Fulton and Father O'Connor, chaplain of the 5th Regiment, were present and took part in the exercise. Due to a rainstorm, other invitees were unable to attend. Speaking of rain, 1922, the same thing was happening. The colonel spoke of the National Guard in Minnesota, which is rated among the highest in the United States, and of the 5th Regiment in particular. He also added that Company H won the greatest distinction at the recent 2-week encampment at Lake City. It was the only company with a perfect inspection. Father O'Connor pointed out how fortunate Laverne is in having an armory constructed here that can be used by not only the National Guard, but by the community.
It is super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and lots of people use it.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I have. So thank you guys for coming here this week.
You bet. Thanks for having us.
Yes. Thank you for being here.